From the very beginning, a question has traversed civilizations, empires, and ages. Where do we come from? Who created us? Before science and faith, doubt had already gnawed at the human spirit. Were we the result of chance or the product of a supreme intention? Religious figures and scientists, separated by centuries of confrontation, seek the same answer. The thirst for origins has shaped wars, revolutions, and discoveries. Did something or someone exist before everything? Today, science advances toward what once seemed impossible, and now, more than ever, the question arises that could change the world. Is science getting closer to proving God? For millennia, we believed that matter was the solid foundation of reality, an unbreakable structure upon which our understanding of the universe rested. Yet, quantum physics, with its brutal revelation, shattered this certainty. What we call matter is nothing but an invisible dance of particles, vibrating at frequencies so mysterious that they defy reason. At the core of existence, solidity is but an illusion. There is no permanent substance. Everything is energy in motion, an invisible choreography orchestrated by forces beyond our understanding. Within this scene of uncertainty and shattered realities, an even more disturbing theory emerges. Consciousness may not be merely a product of reality, but the primary force sustaining all existence. The human mind, while observing the universe, is not a mere spectator. It shapes what it sees. The question strikes with force. If consciousness shapes reality, then who shaped consciousness? In this moment, an ancient declaration echoes through the ages, like thunder crossing the fabric of time. In the beginning was the Word, a biblical phrase, as old as time itself, which now resonates with astonishing precision in the halls of modern science. Information, command, word. No longer is matter the throne of reality. It is the Word. Information is the foundation. Could this have been a mere coincidence? Or was it a clue left deliberately etched in eternity to be discovered at this very moment in history? If you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get back to the video. The Big Bang, another milestone that shattered scientific paradigms, revealed something even more overwhelming. The universe had a beginning. There was a moment, an absolute point in time, when everything we know exploded into existence. Time, space, and matter emerged together as if they were children of the same will. And what came before? Science, with all its arrogance, is forced to admit it does not know. Something or someone beyond the limitations of time and matter, infinitely powerful, triggered this creation. And here, even if unwilling, scientists stumble upon the very same attributes that the scriptures have ascribed to the Creator for thousands of years: eternity, immateriality, omnipotence. Science, in its relentless search, crashes into an insurmountable wall. The first mover. Who gave the first push? God. This is the question many try to avoid, but it becomes impossible to ignore when facing the mystery of origin. Yet the abyss that haunts us is not just in the distant stars or the ocean's depths. It pulses within us. In the invisible human DNA resides a colossal library, so complex that all the technology ever created by humanity bows before it. Each cell in our body carries a hidden signature, a code so perfect that the mere thought of chance dissolves in the face of brutal evidence. Codified information does not come from nothing. Information requires a mind, requires design, requires intention. Every cell is a living monument to the existence of a creator. No machine, no human ingenuity can even begin to match the precision and sophistication of a single-cell organism. Life itself is a symphony of impossible order. The chaos of the primordial universe could never have composed such harmony. There is something beyond. There is a force. There is an intention that echoes in the silence of our molecules. The design of life is not a timid whisper. It is a thunderous cry. Every sequence of nucleotides, every cell division, every breath we take is a living declaration of a supreme intelligence. Science, with all its rigor, may measure, observe, and record. But it cannot escape the overwhelming truth. There is an author behind it all. And now, as you hear these words, there is no escape. The signature of God is etched in every cell, in every atom of your being. The only question left is, are you prepared to recognize it? If we dare to dive deeper, we will see that it is not just life itself that carries these marks. The universe itself, in its vast impassivity, has been calibrated with such absurd precision that any slight deviation would make existence impossible. The speed of light, the gravitational constant, the strong nuclear force, tiny variations so minuscule that they escape our understanding, and the entire structure of the cosmos would collapse. If gravity were just slightly weaker, galaxies would never have formed. If it were a bit stronger, stars would collapse under their own mass. Every detail has been balanced with such exactitude that no human mind would dare replicate it. Gravity, nuclear force, the structure of atoms, all operate within an error margin so infinitesimal that to speak of chance is intellectually dishonest. Such a perfect adjustment leaves no room for rational doubt. Even the staunchest defenders of materialist science, such as Stephen Hawking, were forced to admit the universe does indeed seem to have been intentionally designed. Not as a timid hypothesis, but as an unavoidable conclusion. The universe carries the fingerprints of a hidden plan, inscribed in every physical constant and every fundamental equation. Coincidence or direct, unquestionable evidence of a supreme mind? When we analyze the probabilities of all the complexity and order we observe having emerged by chance, these chances become so absurdly small that they cannot be seriously considered. In any other scenario, with such overwhelming evidence, the conclusion would be immediate. There was intention, there was a clear purpose. Yet only with respect to the origin of the universe do we see a nearly desperate resistance to accept this reality. You, human being, are a living witness to a millennial plan. Every heartbeat, every star twinkling in the vast veil of the night, every cell silently multiplying within your body, everything echoes the manifestation of a sovereign will. We are not here by mere chance. We are here because we were wanted, because we were planned with precision and love. Now, in the face of this colossal truth, I must ask the inevitable question: will you continue to ignore the signature of the Creator, which silently shouts within your very being? At this crucial moment, two paths open before us. We either choose to believe the improbable narrative of a universe born from blind chance, where life emerged aimlessly, without purpose, as the result of random forces, or we recognize what logic, evidence, and the very human instinct loudly proclaim: there is intentional purpose, there is a mind behind everything that exists. For a long time, science resisted this conclusion. It tried to avoid it, sidestep it, explain it away in naturalistic terms. Yet with every new scientific discovery, every technological leap, every deeper dive into the structures of life and the cosmos, we are being pushed with growing force toward the inevitable conclusion: existence is not an accident. Existence is the result of an extraordinarily intelligent and powerful mind. To escape this recognition, theories like that of the multiverse have arisen. Speculative ideas attempting to postulate infinite parallel universes, hoping to dilute the absurd probability of a universe as perfectly calibrated as ours. But these theories, far from solving the problem, only push the question farther away. They do not eliminate the need for a rational, powerful cause. They merely camouflage the discomfort of admitting it. The more we advance in our knowledge of the universe, the more evident the mark of a divine mind becomes. We are not before the product of blind, random forces. We are before a design. Every molecule, every galaxy, every natural law screams with a silent yet powerful voice that we were intentionally created. Modern science, even against its own will, is beginning to admit that the universe demands an explanation. And a true explanation cannot emerge from nothing. Nothing creates laws. Nothing organizes atoms. Nothing awakens life. Therefore, God has ceased to be merely a religious hypothesis. He has become a logical necessity for any mind that still preserves intellectual honesty in the face of the vastness and order that surround us. At this point, faith and reason converge. What was once seen as the exclusive domain of religion now imposes itself as the logical conclusion of scientific investigation. It's no longer possible to completely separate what we feel in our spirit from what science reveals to our attentive eyes. The curtain that concealed the truth is falling, slowly but inexorably. If we look more closely at the very structure of the universe, we will see something even more impressive. Mathematics governs the functioning of the cosmos in an invisible and absolute way. The orbits of planets, the growth of trees, the cycles of the seasons, the formation of galaxies, all are governed by exact mathematical patterns. There is no chaos. There is order. There is no randomness. There are formulas, symmetries, regularities that transcend any human capacity to create. And the most astonishing part is that mathematics existed even before our intelligence was capable of recognizing it. We did not invent it, we merely discovered it. It was there, imprinted in the very structure of reality, like marks left by the finger of the Creator. And then the inevitable question arises: how could such perfect and abstract laws have emerged without a mind that ordered them? How could principles governing gravity, light, time, and space exist without a conscious intelligence that established them? Mathematics, that silent language that transcends time and civilizations, is not a human creation. It is a revelation. Discovered, not invented like a hidden treasure, it presented itself as our eyes began to open to the vastness of the reality surrounding us. Every number, every formula, every equation is a coded mark, a signature left by the very creator of the universe. When we solve a mathematical problem, when we decipher an equation of perfect symmetry, we touch, even if for a brief and almost imperceptible moment, the infinite mind of God. The universe is not the product of a cosmic accident. It is not the work of blind chance, but of majestic planning. Every star piercing the darkness of space is a reminder of eternity. Every natural law that sustains life whispers about the existence of something beyond human comprehension. This something is God, the infinite who sustains the visible, the invisible who governs the laws that keep everything standing, the eternal creator of all that was, is, and will be. If all the evidence points to the existence of God, then the inevitable question arises: what more is needed for humanity to recognize this truth? Science, philosophy, and the very condition of being human all converge toward the same conclusion. Yet the world resists. This resistance does not arise from a lack of proof. On the contrary, the refusal is a conscious decision, because accepting the existence of God demands a transformation that many are unwilling to face. The proofs are not hidden. They are before everyone's eyes, in the starry skies, in the DNA that holds the secret of life, in the immutable laws that govern the cosmos, in the mathematical order that sustains even the smallest details of existence. To ignore this evidence is no longer an act of innocent doubt. It is a choice. It is the deliberate act of closing one's eyes to an undeniable truth. What we face today is no longer a scientific debate. It is no longer an academic dispute. It is a profound conflict, a silent battle between human pride and the need for spiritual surrender. Accepting God is not abandoning reason, as many arrogantly proclaim. On the contrary, it is elevating reason to its highest level. It is purifying it. It is recognizing that reason by itself has always been incomplete without the awareness of what transcends the visible. Our very existence cries out for an answer. This is not a matter to be debated at conferences, nor a cold theme for academic philosophies. It is urgent. It is vital. Every second that passes is a wasted opportunity to recognize the one who sustains everything. We are approaching a historic moment. The time when science, once filled with self-sufficiency and pride, will begin to bow before that which it can no longer explain. And when that moment finally arrives, and it will, only one question will remain. Will you have surrendered before the truth imposes itself irreversibly? We stand on the brink of an unprecedented awakening, a time when humanity, even against its own will have to confront the Creator it has tried to ignore. And know this revelation will not come through spectacular signs or overwhelming demonstrations of power. It will come silently, inevitably, with the quiet force of a truth that simply can no longer be denied. God will not prove his existence by force. He has already spread his signature everywhere. It is just a matter of wanting to see it. The final choice has always been and will continue to be personal. Every human being carries in their hands the responsibility to respond freely to the divine call. Faith and science, long treated as opposing forces, are now converging, like two rivers that after millennia of separation finally merge into the same destiny. The time for doubt is dissolving. Every new scientific discovery, every deepening into the mystery of life, brings humanity closer to the moment when it will be impossible to ignore the silent cry of creation. There is a Creator. Eternity does not wait for human theories. It advances inexorably toward every heart. Because, in the end, it will not be science, nor philosophical systems, nor cultural traditions that will define the destiny of each person. It will be an individual choice, you standing before the unchangeable reality of the Creator. The entire universe is a gigantic altar. The stars, the oceans, the mountains, and even the smallest cell cry out in unison. God exists. And we human beings are the living witnesses of this cry. We have been called not only to see but to proclaim. The question that has echoed since the foundation of the world has never changed. Do you believe? In light of all the evidence in creation, the proof in history, the mathematics that sustains the universe, do you believe? Unknowingly, science is setting the stage for the greatest event in human history, the great return of the Creator. With every new theory that crumbles, with every new mystery revealed, humanity is moving toward a moment when there will be no more room for skepticism. The curtain of history has already begun to rise, and the final proof of God's existence is emerging, silent, powerful, and impossible to resist. The whole world will be confronted with this truth, and on that day, no one will be able to say they weren't warned. The time to decide is now. Eternity is already moving toward us like an irresistible wave. For those who know how to see the signs, it will be clear. The end of doubt is only the beginning of the true revelation. If you enjoyed this content and want to continue exploring hidden mysteries and stories from the Bible, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This helps us bring more videos like this one and reach more people interested in the Bible. Enable notifications so you don't miss upcoming content, and share this video with friends who might enjoy it. We'll see you in the next one.